masters chat to me, but the majority of them in Commonwealth on Sunday, from Saturday night 9 p.m. to Sunday night 9 p.m. So over that 24-hour period, I did 11 interviews with athletes, and I think we've done about 35 so far since Thursday
Oh,
the
excellent.
12th.
Yeah.
So yeah, been a little bit busy. So, but we
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah.
thank goodness for coffee. I need a refill. so let, so let's get started. Richard Parker, you are the president of the Commonwealth Powerlifting Federation, and did I get that right? I mean, I only wrote it
Yes,
down
you
30
did. Yeah.
seconds ago. Okay, great. Richard,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us today. So, we have a bit of excitement coming up in South Africa next month, but I wanted to start off with just could you give us a little bit of your background? Who is Richard Parker? And then we'll chat about Commonwealth and we'll chat about powerlifting.
Okay. 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 Well, I've been involved in the sport for a long time. You know, when I was at school, I was a swimmer.
Okay,
I played water polo, and we did weight training.
right. Yeah, water
Okay,
polo is the most
so
dangerous sport in the world, particularly for
it,
those who
it,
have
it
toenails. Yeah, it's horrendous. I know.
it is a dangerous sport. Well, I played for the local team, and we were runners up in the national championships one year. So um, that was a good result. Um, I was never a top class swimmer.
Hmm.
Um, so when we started off on weights, that sort of created an interest in weights, and then I joined the local weightlifting club,
Right.
and then sort of gradually moved into powerlifting. Um, and we entered a few competitions. I wasn't a brilliant lifter. Um, I was a rubbish squatter, for example, but
Yeah.
I enjoy I enjoyed the sport, and then sort of gradually drifted into the admin side.
Right. When could you tell us a little bit about that first competition? When was that? How did it go? Sort of what got you involved into your first comp?
Oh, well, I mean, there were other guys in the club who were involved in lifting, so they just took me along.
Right.
And these were local competitions in the southwest of England. And in those days, there wasn't any separate equipped or classic uh, categories, so everything was effectively equipped. So we used metal crate bandages on the knees,
Mm.
for example, which is
Right.
a bit primitive, but they worked.
Right. Oh,
Um,
and there's sort of
so
denim squat shirts and so on.
no, no, we didn't.
No.
No, no, none of that. None of
Okay.
that. That was before those they came in.
Right. Okay. Fair
Um,
enough. And then moving to the
but as
admin side. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, there you go. You
Oh,
go ahead.
oh. So then moving into the administration side, what sort of drove you into that direction? What was the
Uh,
idea behind it?
well, it just sort of as these things do, it just sort of happened.
Yeah.
Um,
You
we
volunteered for
it,
something, didn't you?
well, yeah, yeah. That was the first mistake. Yeah.
Yeah.
um, and in our regional association, they wanted somebody to look after the membership. So I looked after the membership for a while. Then I was treasurer for a while. And then as the years went on, I became secretary of the Southwest England Association. And then it just sort of built up from there, if you like.
Right.
I it was the sort of thing I was able to do. I've got a technical background, so I was able to do it. So
Right.
I just helped out.
Okay. What were you doing sort of outside of out of powerlifting and the admin? What was sort of the day-to-day work?
Well, I was in the defence industry.
Okay.
Okay, so I I started off as an engineer, moved up through the ranks, project engineering, systems engineering, sales and
Right.
marketing. So I did a lot of work internationally. For example, I spent a lot of time traveling around the world and
Right.
working with various armed forces around the world.
Fantastic. And so that sort of organizational skills, the administrative skills, and then also with engineers, very, very logical, very linear. That's helped with the administration in the sport.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely right.
100%. My study career started off with civil engineering and then went into electrical light current, and because
Oh, right. Okay.
the market in South Africa at the time was completely dead. And then I ended up selling insurance for 15 years. So how's that?
Oh, yeah, that's a bit of a change.
A bit of a change, yeah. But the fault finding sort of processes and that and the thinking and the logic definitely helped me in that. So have you found that sort of helped you in your role here as well?
Oh, yeah, yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, logical thinking, clear thinking,
Hmm.
working through problems, that sort of thing. It was a natural sort of link between what I was doing in engineering and admin in sport.
Right. And I bet the sales came in handy as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, being used to talking to all sorts of uh, international uh, agencies. So I was used to dealing with all sorts of languages, cultures, etc. So that's particularly useful in the Commonwealth environment.
Absolutely. So what got you into the Commonwealth roles rather than sort of, for example, IPF or something else? You know.
Well, when we in 2005,
Hmm.
um, Peter Fury, who I mentioned earlier, he decided to form the Commonwealth Powerlifting Federation.
Right.
And we ran the first Commonwealth Championships in England in 2005. And at those championships, we held the inaugural meeting of the Commonwealth Powerlifting Federation.
Right.
Now, Peter Fury was elected president, and I was elected general secretary. So that's where it all started.
Okay. So very similar to the military. You were volunteered for the role.
Well, yeah,
That's really
I
that's
mean,
an election.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was good friends with Peter Fury. He said,
Yeah.
"Look, you you come along. You can do a good job doing all the paperwork." So
Right.
that's what I did.
Fantastic. So how is the Commonwealth Powerlifting Federation and the our upcoming Commonwealth Championships evolved since 2005?
Well, this one next starting next
Mhm.
week is the 10th championship we've run. So over the years, we've had championships around the world. Um, we've had them in England, South Africa,
Mhm.
New Zealand, Canada. We had one in India.
Right.
Um, but this one next week in South Africa is the biggest one we've held so far. We have 16 nations participating,
Cool.
and there are something like 700 plus entries.
Absolutely
So
fantastic.
that's a big championship, and
Absolutely.
it's a Hanny Smith, who's the promoter. It's a bit of a nightmare for him.
Yeah. He loves it. It makes him happy.
Oh, I know he does. I know he
Yeah.
does.
I don't think you could if you didn't love it. So, what
No,
is
no,
the
absolutely,
yeah?
yeah.
So, what are the ideas, the intentions behind the Commonwealth Powerlifting Championships? What do you like to see achieved by these championships?
Well, what we'd like to see is growth in all the Commonwealth countries. There
Right.
are a number of Commonwealth countries affiliated to the IPF who don't currently participate in the Commonwealth Championships. So what we'd like is to get all of those involved in the Commonwealth Championships, and we could have something like 30 nations
Sure.
involved in the Commonwealth Championship. So that's the end game,
Right.
to increase participation across the Commonwealth countries. But of course, one of the challenges for the Commonwealth is because it's worldwide. Traveling is expensive. Wherever you have the championships, somebody's going to have to travel a long way.
Yes. And
So it's
we're
expensive.
happy
Yeah.
to continue. We're happy to continue hosting.
Yeah, I know, I know, I know. I mean, we've had some good championships in South Africa. Yeah,
Yeah,
really good.
that's it. What it absolutely. I mean, 2015 was 2019 in Potchefstroom was wonderful because I had a couple of the British coaches who were also coaching and competing that I'd done the IPF level 2 coaching course workshop with a few years before in La Manga in Spain, and it was so lovely to catch up with them. They came out, stayed with me. I would drive them up and down between Johannesburg and Potch. It's such a nice community. And I think there's something special about the Commonwealth, and I'm trying to put my finger on it because chatting to a lot of the Canadians, the British guys, the Australians, the New Zealanders, what do you think it is within the Commonwealth that there seems to be there's a special bond that we don't find at a straightforward international where it's all countries, including non-Commonwealth?
Yeah, I think I like to think of them as the friendly championships.
Yes,
You know, I mean, there is there's good competition. There's top class lifting, but it's not the same sort of intensity as you get at a open championship, for
yes,
example. Um,
absolutely.
it, the atmosphere is well, yeah, as I say, it's friendly. Everybody knows everybody else. It's a really nice competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think there's sort of a connection in a way because of a bit of a cricket background across the Commonwealth, a bit of a rugby
Eh,
background where we've had
uh,
time playing sports against one another?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I think, yeah, I mean, those sports sort of uh, run through all the Commonwealth nations. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, there are those bonds there. Yeah.
Absolutely, it's it's a lot of fun, and it's for me personally, I love all the countries competing. But I was chatting with some of the Canadians. Absolutely love the Canadians at World Bench at Sun City last year. They had their corner by the one of the swimming pools at the hotel at the one of the hotels,
Yeah.
and everyone was congregating around there. I think getting on really well with the British guys as well. Coach Craig Coggle's been a huge help in getting athletes to chat to us. It's really been a lot of fun. We've spoken to one of the Malaysian lifters. It's wonderful to have them in as well. Which are the countries sort of that you're working on that maybe we can help nudge a little bit with the podcast that you'd like to see involved?
um, well, one of the new countries at this time is Singapore.
Yes,
They have not participated before, so
fantastic.
that's really good. Um, but other countries which we'd really like to have involved, there's Malta, for example.
Yes. They've really
You know,
got no
Malta.
excuse now, right? Because they've put on the
No, no,
juniors and
no.
yeah,
That's correct. Absolutely
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Malta, are you
But
listening?
yeah. Well, I mean, we appreciate that. The international calendar is very busy.
Yes,
and it is difficult for people to sort of participate in everything.
Right. Yes.
Um,
But
we, but the Commonwealth Championships are every 2 years.
yeah, exactly. They have
So
enough. They have enough notice, Richard, to prepare and to plan.
yeah,
So,
well they do.
uh,
Yeah, well
yeah.
hopefully, yeah, yeah. So I mean, there are other African countries which are affiliated with the IPF. We'd like to get involved as well.
Mm,
Um,
right. I think so. With the future of the sport, obviously bringing in additional countries, or the future of the competitions, bringing in additional Commonwealth countries, getting everybody involved is something that would be fantastic. What would you like the championships to mean to the countries that are involved and also to the world going forward?
well, it's really certainly the smaller nations. It's a chance for the to field athletes who wouldn't normally get selected for a mainstream international, for example.
Right.
So there's a big benefit in developing the sport certainly in the smaller nations, um, and it's an opportunity for the less experienced lifters to get international um, exposure.
Yes. I think that's been a theme through all of the conversations we've had, chatting to athletes in our series of podcasts now, that they love the opportunity to travel, and the value of that is coming back home and sharing those experiences with people. And that sort of wants people to participate and get involved in the sport. And so the more people that are exposed to international competition, and those wonderful adventures and stories and experiences, not just on the platform, not just in the competition, but being surrounded by other athletes. It's something that is a huge asset in growing our sport worldwide.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. For you, what does the powerlifting community mean to you? What makes it so special?
What I mean, that's a difficult question to
Right?
answer. Uh, it's uh, it's a very involved sport. I mean, when I'm not traveling or at a
Hmm.
competition, I always watch the internationals on Goodlift, for example.
Yes.
So it's an integral part of my life.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, so if I didn't have powerlifting, I don't know what I'd do. I'd be at a loss.
Right. Yes. Uh, I can
So
understand that.
so it's an integral part of
Hmm.
who I am and what I do.
Right. Are you still competing?
No, I don't compete, but I still work out.
Okay.
I'm in the gym 4 or 5 times a week.
Right.
So
Okay. That's not fantastic. That's fantastic. You know, we have a powerlifter in South Africa. Um, I'm just winking. So you may have heard of him, Dan Oppenheim. You know, Dan's
uh,
137 years old. He's a master 42. And
I know Dan quite well. Yeah.
the, the thing I love about watching, and that's what I love about the sport, because it's just the longevity in it is absolutely wonderful. And the thing for Dan, which always makes me chuckle a little bit, because I'm usually there on the podium doing the announcing. You know, he can move phenomenal numbers. He can squat like a champion, but we got to help him up onto the podium. So I'm
Yeah,
bringing a set
yeah.
of steps for him this year.
I'll tell him that when I see him
Yeah.
next week.
Fantastic. Absolutely. But you know, what I've got out of the conversations as well, the sport of powerlifting has changed so many lives. I think it's changed the lives of everyone that gets involved in it. you saying it's an integral part of your life. Some of the people that we've spoken to, some of the athletes primarily, have said, the sport has saved their lives where they were in a very dark place, in a very difficult place, perhaps living a lifestyle that didn't really serve them. And powerlifting has gotten them back into, it's got them into a community, onto the straight and narrow, as it were, and believing in themselves. Do you have any sort of stories over your time in the sport that you could share, where you've seen it have a profound effect?
Not for me personally,
Mm,
but I know it has helped other people to get on the road to recovery from whatever trauma they've
yeah.
experienced.
Absolutely. I mean, for myself personally, I mean, next month I'll be sober for 18 years, and powerlifting has been a big part of my sobriety and working with other addicts, coaching them to see how it's changed. We've got some, so one of our athletes won his Commonwealth division in New Zealand, and he's also in recovery, and it's the most wonderful thing to see, and we're incredibly proud of these guys. A
Yeah,
wonderful, wonderful
absolutely.
sport. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What yeah, what are your expectations for Sun City? What are you looking forward to for this coming competition?
Uh, I'm I'm just looking forward to the seeing everybody. I know a lot of people are going to be there.
Yep,
It's just it's such a great experience being there and being involved in a major competition.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I always enjoy going to South Africa. I enjoy Potchefstroom, and I enjoy Sun City. So, and
Yep.
the weather's nice, so it's fantastic.
Yeah, the weather's going to be this weekend, Richard, it was horrendous. It was like 3 or 4 degrees and raining. It was completely out of season. We had freak snowstorms in the Natal Midlands, and the weather was crazy. But at least it's warming up again, and we're looking at sort of upper 20s to 30s in Sun City. So it's going to be great, and the water park is open. That's the thing that
Oh
makes
right,
me the
okay.
happiness. Yeah, because
Yeah,
the last two internationals that we were there was closed, but now it's open. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. Is
yeah.
there anything from your side that you would like to talk about, or to share about the Commonwealth itself, or Commonwealth powerlifting, and the upcoming competition?
Not really. I mean,
Mm,
I just like to say to all the participating nations, we hope you have a really enjoyable time, and you get something out of the competition. It's going to be an interesting competition because it's being run in conjunction with the World Masters Championships. So that that in itself is a little bit of a challenge, but
yep.
it will be a very busy championships,
Yeah. Uh,
um, and I hope everybody is looking forward to it. I'm sure they are.
Yeah, sure. The energy and the excitement has been massive. Chatting to a lot of the athletes about receiving their kit, their SBD team kit, it's meant the world to them. The big thing from that is people cannot, and I think it goes back to what you're saying so rightly about the smaller nations receiving your national kit. Most of the athletes that are asked, how's it feeling? That they still lost for words, and that's a few weeks later, because it's an incredible honor and opportunity to be able to represent your country. It's going to be a lot of fun, and for us, we're tremendously honored to be able to stream it live as well, on this platform. So we co-stream. We're running two streams at the same time. So that took a little bit of extra investment from our side. We had to double all of our streaming gear, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking forward to meeting you in person. And the only problem with Sun City is that versus Potchefstroom, Richard, it doesn't have the restaurant Kuparasi. I don't know if you went there to the steakhouse where you have your 1 kilogram T-bone steaks.
I did go to the steakhouse, but
Yeah.
I, I don't think I managed just a 1 kilo
Yep.
T-bone. yeah. But the one thing, the food in South Africa is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had questions from some of the athletes, and their main questions have been, "What's the meat like? What's the coffee like? And what's the beer like?"
Yeah, well, for me, I mean, I
Yeah,
don't drink beer.
right. Yeah.
I drink wine. I drink wine, not a lot, but I like a
Right.
glass of wine.
Okay.
And yeah,
Yep.
South African wine is excellent.
Absolutely. Although there was there was the Top Gear crew where Jeremy was very anti South African wine. So we're very happy to hear you say that South African wine is very good, and we think we've improved over the years. What
Yeah,
your favorite South African wine?
yeah. Oh, crikey! You're asking me.
Okay.
I don't. Not
Uh,
normally when I'm in the restaurant in South Africa. So
uh,
just bring me a glass of red wine,
Wine.
and
Okay. Happy with that.
and and I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep that in mind. When are you coming out?
I am flying a week tomorrow,
Okay.
so I arrive on the third,
Okay.
early in the morning.
All right. Are you able to come out directly? So a slightly
Yeah,
shorter
yes, a
flight.
direct
Okay,
flight. Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, yes, a direct flight to Johannesburg. Yeah, yeah.
Right. It was fun chatting to some of the poor Canadians where it's like a 36, 40 hour commute. So it's fine. They can
Yeah,
handle it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, as I say, that's one of
Mm.
the Commonwealth countries spread across the globe.
Yes.
So wherever you are, for some countries, it's going to be a real trek.
Yep. No. It's and we can blame you for that because the sun never sets on the British Empire, so it's everywhere. Uh, So, if you're comfortable to ask it, I'm being a little bit cautious with the question. It's not something you have to answer. But with some of the smaller countries, are there any of the smaller countries in the future that you would like to see host the Commonwealth? And could you
um,
mention something with an island, tropical beach, maybe? You
well, I mean, there are places like Fiji and
Yeah,
places like that, Guyana.
yeah,
But one place that hasn't hosted a Commonwealth Championship, which I would be really pleased if they would, is Australia.
yes,
Australia have a lot of good lifters, but they've never actually hosted a championship. New Zealand has hosted three.
yeah. But
So
got to get this. This is a call out to the Aussies.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know. Things have changed in the
Yeah.
Australian setup uh, a few times. So hopefully, I'll be able to chat to the Australian people and talk to them about whether there's any interest in
Hmm.
staging a championship in the future.
Absolutely. Well, I suppose we can say again, if they don't want to, we've always got Cape Town. So,
Yeah, well, yeah. That's right. Yeah, I mean that. When I was
mm,
discussing with Hanny originally, Cape Town was one of the options.
mm. So I think I think we're going to do a comp down there next year. So I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah,
So awesome. So Richard, we're looking forward to meeting you in person. We're very grateful for you taking the time this morning to chat to us. I'm quite sure it's rather hectic at the moment for you, sort of so close to the competition. We really do appreciate you joining us.
yeah. Well, it was really my pleasure.
Mm,
It's really interesting for me to hear the sorts of questions that you're throwing at me. Yeah,
yeah.
because it makes me think about a lot of things which I haven't thought about for years.
Oh, good. Okay, that makes me happy. Now, I'm looking forward to with you having a glass of wine and me having a cup of coffee in Sun City, and chatting further. Then that I'd appreciate that. It'll be a lot of fun. We've got.
Yeah,
We chatted a little bit about the advertising, and that's something that I've been working on. But what we've done in the interim is just chatting to certain companies about sponsoring gifts for, or not give prizes for some of the athletes. So I spoke to Hani.
Okay.
He said he
Yeah.
was happy with it. We have a fantastic Hong Kong-based tailor, and he's going to do a blazer, a tailored blazer for the best lifter man, best lifter woman. There's a South African company called Volcano. They'll be bringing some headphones and power banks and some electronic stuff for the lifters. And there's a glasses brand as well. We're going to try to get some sunglasses for the guys. So just to
Oh,
make
really?
it a little bit
Okay.
more
Excellent.
exciting, yeah. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
we're working on at the moment for this. So it should be fun. And I'm chatting to Dr. Nigel Plummer later, actually. He's the founder of Proven. They do the probiotics. Going to be chatting about gut health and how that
Oh,
affects
really?
athletic
Okay.
performance. Yeah. So we'll see. I'll see if we can get a couple of packs out of him for some of the athletes,
Yeah.
particularly those eating the kilo T-bones. They may need the help they can
Oh,
get.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Richard, thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's
So,
been a real pleasure talking to you,
oh, thank you.
and look, I really look forward to meeting you in person next week.
Absolutely. I'm coming in on. I'll be in early Sunday morning. So we just got. I've got some family commitments in Johannesburg, and then Saturday night, Sunday morning, I'll even come down. So we'll see you then. Hopefully on Sunday morning, my stream team. I'm going to drop the guys off on Tuesday, or I think Wednesday morning, early. I know Harney's
Okay.
bringing his guys through so they can go to the water park. So everything will be settled and set up and ready to go. We're looking forward to it. Good.
Excellent. Excellent.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you in Sun City, South Africa.
Absolutely. Thank you
All right.
so much.
Thank you for your time. Take care. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Thank you. And you.
Thank you. Oh, what a lovely conversation chatting to Mr. Richard Parker, the Commonwealth powerlifting president. I hope I got that right. The brain, it lets me down sometimes with these things. So thank you for your time, guys, and some great insights from Richard. And we are looking forward to meeting him in South Africa. There is something very, very special about the Commonwealth powerlifting. There's a connection between our countries that I haven't felt at other internationals. Other internationals are wonderful. So maybe it's part of being the Commonwealth. It's that shared sporting connection through cricket and rugby and even football. It's been a lot of fun. Up next, we are chatting to Will, the Scotland head coach. So looking forward to that. I'm going to message him now, see if he can chat to us in about 30 minutes. We were scheduled for then. He kindly made himself available to move his conversation out 30 minutes, just in case it went a bit longer with Richard, but I think we can chat to him in about 25 minutes. Please join us then, and join us this afternoon when we chat to Dr. Nigel Plummer about gut health and how important is it to athletic performance, to endurance, and also to all-round quality of life. Is it something that's going to profoundly affect our training and our performance on the platform? Really looking forward to hearing what he has to say. I had the opportunity to chat to him on Monday on my radio show, the Discom Pharmacy's Medical Monday show on Chai FM, and it's a fascinating conversation. I'm very grateful he agreed so quickly to come back and chat to us here on the Emmett Media podcast. You've been watching Coffee and Conversations with Champions, the powerlifting edition. And for Emmett Media, I'm Nicholas Ingle, and should be seeing you either in 25 minutes or an hour. See you then.